Okay.
Attention please. Good morning everyone. Thank you for your time and opportunity. Today we are from Group 2. We will explain about the comparative audit of language assessment, especially for reliability. Before that, we'll introduce ourselves. Start from me. My name is Calvin Raimuni.
My name is Elisa Solisa.
My name is Jessica Nawara. My name is Rina Lande.
My name is Nurfatudil Ashel.
My name is Fadi Muhammadiya.
My name is Risti Umasugi. My name is Jelena Herlisa. My name is Kesha Moren Hadel.
Okay, first is definition of reliability. First is core definition. Consistency with a time interval reliability reflects a degree of consistency of data with a specific time interval. Reliable instrument is, how to pronounce this? Is
Reliable.
no. Instrument is worthy to produce the same or consistent data when used repeatedly to measure the same object by Sugiono 26. For example, like if you weigh yourself at jam 7 pagi and it shows 50 kilogram, weigh yourself again at jam 8 pagi, must still show 15 kilogram.
Next, key characteristic, identical data representation. So the tool is guaranteed to give the exact same result when used repeatedly on the same object. For example, like if you measure a table's length with a row 3 times in a row, every single measurement must consistency show 120 centimeters.
Okay, the next one is the comparative of reliability. The first one is for we have
Key points from reliability. The first one is correct reliability and human error minimization. Okay, the first one is for TOEFL ITP. In TOEFL ITP, they demonstrate very high score reliability because it's predominantly utilized an objective multiple choice format with fixed answer key, and the grading of TOEFL ITP is mostly machine based, and this is completely eliminates personal interpretation or grading bias. The next one for IELTS, it maintains a generally reliable standard, but it utilizes a highly trained examiner and standardized rubric. But the test is still the test like productive skill like speaking and also writing. It still use an element of subjective human judgment, so it has a little bias of reliability. The next one is for school-based test. Unfortunately, this present lower score reliability and also a higher risk of human error. It because the scoring standard frequently depend on individual teacher and also manual checking and subjective interpretation. So it lead to variance between classroom. The next one is internal consistency, and for TOEFL ITP features strong internal consistency. Each section is mathematically and statistically designed to consistently measure isolated language components such as listening, structure, or reading. And the next one is for IELTS. It shows good internal consistency. The tests are systematically engineered to evaluate integrated, but in real-world academic, English skills through multi-layered task types. The next one is school-based tests. Tend to be weaker in this area because many tests are teacher-made without professional psychometric analysis. They often suffer from uneven item difficulty and also mixed question quality.
Okay, and the next point is administration, reliability, and standardization. For TOEFL and ITP and IELTS, both showcase highlight standardized, rigid, and national administration protocols, testing environment, and also strict timing and invigilatory instruction and center condition are tight, light control, worldwide ensure absolute fairness. And also for the school-based test, shows limit standardization and highlight variable administration, testing conditions such as classroom noise level, proctoring strictness, and available times differs firstly from one school or classroom to another. And for the 4 point, this test retains reliability or score stability. For TOEFL and ITP score are highlight stable. If a student takes the test switch within a short period under identical condition, the standardized scoring system ensures nearly identical outcome. For IELTS also generally stable because through minor fluctuations I'm sorry. For IELTS also generally stable because the minor fluctuation. Fluctuation may occur due to human interaction and also during the live speaking interview or prompt difference in writing. And also for school-based tests, you'll know to score stability. A student's score could heavily fluctuate depending on test construction, adjustment, shifting classroom environment, or changes in teacher or stick grade. That's all for me. Thank you so much.
Okay, for the next one is the main weaknesses. So the first one is TOEFL ITP. They have two main weaknesses in here. The first one is no assessment of productive skills. It is only receptive skills like listening and reading. It based from the soal that we get. And also grammar, so it doesn't directly measure active skills and such as speaking or writing. The next one is susceptible to guessing strategies. The multiple choice question format allows test takers to use guessing strategy to answer the question. And the next one is IELTS. They have also two. The first one is subjective scoring risk. Because scoring in the speaking and also writing section relies heavily on human judgment. So there is a risk of scoring variation or bias. The next one is interpretive ambiguity. Some types of comprehension questions such as true, false, or not given can sometimes lead to interpretive ambiguity for test takers. The next one is school-based. The main weaknesses there is three. The first one is low scorer reliability because grading standards are highly subjective because they depend on the individual teachers. So the assessment result may be inconsistent and also across the classes, all the schools. The next one is no professional item for analysis. The test items are typically created independently by the school or the teacher without undergoing a professional validity testing. So an item. So
of scoring by raters are a scoring system. The second is internal consistency. So the consistency among items in measuring the same skill. The third is administration reliability. So the consistency of test administration procedures include timing, instruction, and the testing environment. And the next is retest reliability. So the stability of result when the test is administered again at a different time. And the last is item clarity and discriminative discovery. So items that are clear, unambiguous, and capable of distinguishing between high and low ability participants tend to be more reliable. So next slide. So this is example for question 12. So the first is object format. So from this question to fall, so score reliability is very high because the question is multiple choice with only one correct answer. So scoring is objective and has almost no differences between graders. So for the internal consistency, it's a high. So if this item is a group with other listening questions that also measure short conversation comprehension, inference, and correct response. For the administration reliability is high, but it highly depends on audio standard initiation, speaker or handset quality, room volume, and clear instruction. So if the audio is not consistent, reliability is low. For the retest reliability, so moderate to high because the question format is short and objective. So result can be stable, but repeating the test can cause memory effect regarding the answer. So for the potential weakness, the available document only show options, so not the audio transcript. So this means the reliability analysis is stronger in scoring format and administration than in the illicit content of the stimulation. So the conclusion is as an objective multiple choice item in a standardized test. So this question shows strong reliability, especially in scoring at a procedure, as long as the listening conditions are very controlled.
Okay, next is IELTS analysis. So this is IELTS test that we find and we analyze. The findings that we got is first, this task is highly objective because answers are limited to a single word. For the key strength, consistently measures reading comprehension, and for the key weaknesses, spelling and answer format are strictly enforced. So for the brief description of this task, overall, it is high reliability with strict answer controls. Okay. Next is school test analysis. This is a school analysis test from middle school, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Okay. So as you guys can see here, it is by using this test, we're gonna use objective scoring, but the cognitive level is remain low. And then for the key strength, it is very easy to score and clear. For the key weakness, it is low discriminative power because the discriminative powers tend to be low because the question is too directly, will likely to be easy
easy answer by almost all students. So, because the questions are too easy, it is less effective at telling the difference between the strong and the weak students.
And so for the overall brief description of this test, it is moderate reliability for border assessment use.
Okay, next.
Okay, we move to comparative findings. Of the three test examples, the IELTS and TOEFL demonstrate greater overall reliability because their formats, instruction, and administration. You can show the slide. We could say that TOEFL can be considered the most successful test when evaluated based on the principle of reliability. Because as we know, reliability refers to the consistency and stability of the test result. According to Brown, a reliable test produces similar outcomes under consistent conditions regardless of when or where the test is administered. So the reason why we could say that TOEFL is the most successful test when developed based on the principle of reliability, because TOEFL demonstrates a high degree of reliability because it uses highly standardized testing procedures and objective scoring methods. The TOEFL example shows that many sections, particularly listening comprehension, like my friend already explained before, many sections, particularly listening comprehension, structure and written expression, and reading comprehension, rely heavily on multiple choices question with fixed correct answer. This format minimizes scholar bias and ensure all the test takers are evaluated using the same criteria. In addition, TOEFL is administered internationally under control conditions, which strengthens scoring consistency and comparability across different countries and institutions. Next, why IELTS is not that good, or we could say that it's below TOEFL, because it has subjective scoring. The IELTS assessment includes various open-ended and interpretive task types such as matching, headings, sentence completion, and identifying whether views. While the test effectively measures communicative competence and critical thinking, they reduce scoring consistency because test takers' response can be interpreted differently. Next, school-based tests show the greatest weakness regarding reliability. Unlike TOEFL and IELTS, school-based assessments are usually created and scored independently by the teacher and institution. So it's based on school. So we could say that it's weakness regarding reliability. Therefore, based on the principle of reliability, like I said before, TOEFL is the most successful assessment because it emphasizes standardized procedures, objective scoring, and consistent measuring across contexts. While IELTS remains effective for assessing communicative language ability, but its subjective scoring components. Meanwhile, school-based tests are the less relevant due to the lack of standardization and consistency in administration and evaluation.
Okay, next is recommendation. So one is standardized blueprints and software analysis. So school must develop rigid tasks, blueprints, and utilize items analysis software like ANET or IDEMIAN to detect and eliminate ambiguous questions. Two is rigorous analytical rubrics and double grading. So for open-ended essay or performance tasks, teacher must use highly specific grading rubrics and implement a double grading system by two independent teachers to eliminate personal subjectivity.
So the next point, the third recommendation is uniform testing environment. So this means that the testing conditions should be standardized for all students in order to ensure fairness and consistency. For example, the exam timing, the exam class, and guideline, the exam instruction for all students is same across all classes. So by doing this, no student will have an unfair advantage and disadvantage during the test. The next recommendation is pre-exam peer review. So for the exam question are printed and used, they should first be reviewed by a group of the teacher. And the
errors can be minimized. And the final recommendation in IELTS and TOEFL adjustment for IELTS, human examiner should be calibrated regularly to ensure more consistent and objective scoring. Meanwhile, for TOEFL, the variety of computer-based question types should be increased to reduce guessing strategies by test takers. This adjustment can help improve the reliability and accuracy of the test results.
Please explain.
TOEFL IBP and dark blue bar ranks at the highest level on all indicators. International standardization and a machine-based multiple choice format make the TOEFL the most consistent, stable, and free from human bias. As you can see, yields a light blue bar rated at the good level. However, in terms of score reliability and human error, it ranks slightly below the TOEFL. And this is understandable since the IELTS assess productive skills, speaking and writing, which still involves subjective evaluation by human examiners. School-based tests, gray bar, rated low across all aspects, indicates that school-based tests remain very weak due to the lack of the professional item analysis, inconsistent administration, and teacher evaluation that tend to be subjective. Although the TOEFL is the most reliable assessment, the poor performance of the school-based test is the main reason why our group is offering concrete recommendations such as digital analysis and double-blind grading system to make school exams in Indonesia more objective and reliable.
Okay, that's all from us. Thank you for your attention. We move to the Q&A section. If you have any question, please raise your hands. Is there any question?
Or critics or suggestion?
Maybe some recommendation?
Yeah.
Want to add something? Just tell us.
Anyone?
Joyun,
Lisa?
No.
Is there any question?
No one?
No one to ask? Are you satisfied and understand what you explained?
Yes. Are you sure?
Nadia?
Yes, I understand it. Yes.
Thank you for your paper. Maybe that's all from us. Thank you.
21 menit.
24.